I'm gonna try not to pronounce it wrong because I just was told it. Married, right?
Mairead.
Mairead. Oh my god, I already messed up. Mairead and Maddie, you guys, the two of you are Sweet Petunia, a folk duo from the Boston area where y'all originated, I assume. And I kind of want to know actually how you two got your start, and was there a specific reason why you decided to pursue folk music? Also, I want to know your preferred pronouns. Mine are he, him, his.
Um, uh,
I'm like coming out right out the gate, huh?
Well, my pronouns are she, her.
My pronouns are they, them.
We started at Berklee. We met in a ensemble, taught by Greg List from Crooked Still, and we like didn't really talk to each other at first, and then we were supposed to sing like with this other guy in the ensemble, and we were like gonna meet up to rehearse, and he stood us up, and so Mairead and I were like we were like just chilling for like an hour.
Yeah, we just chilled on the stairs and like talked about music and stuff we had in common.
And then we realized that we had a lot in common and that we basically wanted to do the exact same thing.
Yeah.
So we were like, well, what if we just like made a band?
Yeah. And so we played music together a couple of times, and really like we were like, this sounds good.
Yeah.
And then we decided to become a real band.
Yeah.
And here we are.
Mm-hmm. What were some of those similarities that y'all mentioned? Was it like music taste, like kind of direction that you wanted to go with a music career?
It was
kind
like
of everything.
Yeah.
We both really liked The Head and the Heart in high school.
Yeah.
So I remember talking about The Head and the Heart a lot. And Maddie had this super cool jacket that was covered in pins and patches. So I spent a lot of time like being like, oh, that one's really cool. I like it because of this reason. And like we both had just like wanted to be in like a queer folk duo
with like a lot of harmony.
Yeah, like super harmony driven and lyric based, and with banjo and guitar, and
so it really just like worked.
It was just perfect.
Yeah, it sounds like it was kind of a chance of fate that guy just didn't show up, and then you two just end up having your own thing.
Yeah. It was great because the song we were supposed to be rehearsing with him was not very good.
It was like his song, and he was like, I want 3-part harmony on it, but it was like impossible to sing. It was like so awful. And then he stood us up and we were like, thank God.
Mm-hmm. So that sounds like it was kind of the defining moment or the start of Sweet Petunia.
That was like the moment where we were like, we should like maybe try it out. And then we like got together a couple times and just like sang through some stuff and like played each other some songs, and then we didn't really start like really being Sweet Petunia until like that summer. So it was like July of 2018 when we like started our Instagram.
Yeah, and like had our first show at the ER.
Yeah. But yeah, that's it really.
Yeah.
What about the name? Where'd you get the name Sweet Petunia from?
It's something that my great grandfather would call his grandchildren.
Aww.
And my mom suggested it to me as the name of a band in like 8th grade. And I was like, that's pretty sick. So I wrote a song about it afterwards and kept the song and the name until I met Maddie, and she was into it. So
yeah, it was perfect. Then I didn't have to do any work.
Yeah.
To try and come up with a name. We already had a name, which is like
it's definitely the hardest part.
Right, yeah, because it goes into your identity, and obviously, like you said, making that Instagram was probably a big moment. At least you had the name, so there you go.
Exactly.
And talking about your music specifically, I was listening to your projects that you've put out thus far, and also from what you mentioned in your bio that I saw is you kind of boasts this very like unique sound, and you mentioned it too with like your vocals and harmonizing and things like that. And I was really impressed with just your singing in general and your style. And would you say that, and this kind of goes into what you said in your bio, would you say that's why you feel like you can mesmerize your audience and silence a room, as I'm reading it word for word?
I mean, I think our voices go like really well together, and I think like a lot of people will be like, wow, I can't believe you guys aren't related.
Yeah, we joke sometimes that we're like distant cousins.
Yeah.
Okay.
Blood harmony.
Yeah, and I think like people hear it and they're like, wow.
Yeah, it's just like a little different than some music.
Yeah,
that's like popular because it's two voices that are like equally important.
Yeah.
To the song.
Yeah, and like in a lot of like traditional folk scenes, we stand out because we're like, I don't know how to like, we're like punker.
Yeah, we are. We're a little punk sometimes.
Like we're like punker than traditional folk music, but also then if we're on a bill with like all punk bands, then we also stand out because people are like, what is happening right now? Like, yeah. So it's like I think a lot of times people like don't really know what to do with us, and then
we end up in weird situations.
And then we play a show and people are like, yo, what? That's awesome.
Yeah.
So how would you guys describe your sound? Like you just mentioned, obviously folk and a little bit of punk. Would you say that kind of hits the nail on the head?
I don't know. I think folk punk specifically is like a different
genre. For
like
sure.
Definitely would not call ourselves folk punk, but I think I don't know. It's hard to say.
Y'alternative.
Yeah, I kind of like cringe every time I hear that, but it's so true. Like y'alternative.
I've actually never heard that term before.
It's like a TikTok thing.
Okay, I see.
People on TikTok, I think, love that. But yeah, I don't know. We say we're like acoustic music because it's just like the easiest thing to say.
Yeah.
And then if you hear us, you're like, well, it's a little different, but I don't know.
It's hard to
describe.
No, for sure. Yeah, I was curious to see what you guys would say about that. And it's hard to describe your own sound to somebody else, you know, because it's like you guys kind of sound like you do a bunch of different things and being very unique. And I have to give you credit for the song Tiny Boxes, because that was the song that made me think of that question. Because I think there's just a part in it where it sounds like you two are on the verge of like screaming or something. And I like literally went like, whoa.
Yeah.
Like that's really cool. So kudos to you guys. Like I think you got a really cool thing going, especially with that.
Thank you.
Yeah, and so talking a little bit more about your music and the projects that you've put out. So you had your first, I guess we could say like project. It was like a 3 single thing, like whatever, called Move Along, which you put out in 2019. And then you put out your first EP, also called Sweet Petunia, in 2019. So what was that time frame from putting out those 2 projects? Did you put them out kind of close to each other, or was there, you know, like a few months in between that you kind of spaced it out?
The first EP came out on Bandcamp in December.
Yeah.
And then on Spotify in January.
So it was like a little longer. Yeah, it felt like longer, but I guess it was pretty close together.
We recorded that in like one semester. We recorded Move Along in like one semester at Berklee.
And the first EP we recorded in like 3 days or something.
Yeah.
Like,
wow.
But I think you can tell, like, we just really wanted to put something out, and we were like, we need to just like have music out because we were like trying to book shows and stuff, and we needed
needed to put out music.
Mm-hmm.
We've definitely like grown a lot as artists and musicians since we put those out, and we're working on another EP right now. That's actually why I'm here in Boston.
Right.
Yeah, and we're like really taking our time with this one particularly because like even with the second release, it was like closer to what I think we want, but it was still not like exactly what we want. And I think we have like a better idea now of what it is that we really want the EP to sound like. So the one that we're working on now is like really exciting.
Would you say that because you mentioned finding what you want with your sound, is that kind of what's motivating you to put out the second EP that you just mentioned?
Well, I think we just like want to put out stuff anyways, just because like we haven't in a couple years for like so many reasons. Obviously, like COVID being one of them. So we really want to put something else out, and we're really proud of all the stuff on this album. We want like people to hear it, and so that's I think mostly it.
Yeah. Plus, it's just fun to record.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, totally. Do you guys prefer doing like shorter projects like EPs, or do you ever see yourselves putting out a longer project like an album?
Our plan actually, after we finish recording this EP, is to start recording pretty immediately a full-length album.
Yeah.
Cool.
We've just been doing EPs because of like time constraints mostly.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. And you mentioned too, you're in Portland, Maine. So that also creates a little bit of a challenge right there.
Yeah. I work during the week and then come down like every other weekend.
Well, at least we know you're dedicated. That's the important thing.
Working for the weekend.
Yeah. Well, it also seems like you've done a number of live gigs this year. I noticed from, just low-key stalking your Instagram and whatnot. So what's that been like, getting out and playing some shows? Has it been exciting for you guys?
Oh, absolutely.
So fun.
Nice. We just played like our first like actual show back like 2 weekends ago.
Yeah.
And it was incredible. It was a really good time.
Yeah, it was so fun. We played at Looney Tunes Olsen with Kiko and Grace Giverts.
Both of which we've like played with in the past, and like we love both of them so much.
Yeah.
And so it was just like the perfect gig bag. It was like all friends. Yeah.
Yeah, it was so nice. We've missed performing so much. I feel like Tinkerbell. If I don't get applause, I will die. So definitely really nice to be back performing.
And I noticed something else that I'm not sure if honored is the right word, but obviously if you were, we're going to take it because you guys are awesome. But I saw that you were mentioned or honored at the American Roots music program at Berklee.
Oh yeah. Okay. We were like in it.
Yeah.
I see.
The president like mentioned us.
Berklee was like just talking about like his fave American Roots bands and mentioned us, which was pretty cool.
Which is cool.
Just because we were among some like pretty good company, like Rashad Eggleston,
I don't know,
Gillian
Welsh and
Damn Tall
Molly
Buildings.
Tuttle, Sierra Hall, just like lots of
really cool people.
And so it was cool to be like mentioned along all of those people because we were like, wow.
For sure. Yeah. What kind of connection do you have to that program? And I assume it was pretty important when you were at Berklee.
Yeah. So we met through the American Roots program, and we got to do a bunch of really cool festivals because of the American Roots program. We got to do Joe Val, Gray Fox, and Fresh Grass.
Yeah.
All of which were just amazing times. I was able to take banjo lessons. Lots of ensembles.
Yeah. Pretty sick.
You did a little more with the Roots program than me.
Yeah, I took a lot of lessons, and I was in basically every ensemble that I could take as a vocalist and also as a banjo player. And yeah, it's really dope. It's just a really cool program for sure.
So what instruments do y'all know how to play?
We both play guitar and banjo.
Yeah, and we both sing.
You're like, that's it. That's awesome though. And it seemed like just with some of those gigs that you mentioned through the music program, it was all like within 2019 too, from what I saw. So was that just like, because you obviously had just put out the EP and your other music, and then you're doing all these shows. Like that must have been, you know, freaking awesome.
It
for you
was
two to like do all this
a
stuff.
great year for Sweet Petunia.
Yeah.
We played what, like
We
over
played-
60 shows?
Yeah, we played like 80 shows.
Wow.
Yeah,
in
like 80 live shows in
2019.
2019.
And we put out, I guess technically we like put out both EPs. We played 3
Everywhere.
festivals.
We played in Virginia.
Yeah.
We played in
Maine. We played in New Hampshire. Boston. Yeah, that was actually such a crazy
That
year.
was a great year. And then the pandemic happened and it all just stopped. And it felt like a big slap in the face.
Yeah.
But we're working on some stuff that is exciting.
Yeah.
And is going to get us back in like the swing of things. So
Totally.
Do you have a highlight from that year? It's obviously a lot, but anything like really stand out to you too?
Playing on the Bank of New Hampshire stage was pretty cool.
Yeah, we opened for Catwright.
Mm-hmm.
That was really cool. That's like basically the biggest stage in my hometown.
Mm-hmm.
So we got asked to open it, and that was really sick.
Yeah, we had like a green room and everything, and like
yeah, that was pretty crazy.
It was very fancy.
I also really loved playing at Fresh Grass.
I was also gonna say Fresh Grass
because there was like so much amazing music at Fresh Grass when we went, and we got to like there was like a ton of our friends there, like through the program, and we just like hung out and listened to music and played music and
Gray Fox too.
Gray Fox was also really fun.
I liked bumping elbows with Billy Strings in the back tent.
Yeah,
made me feel cool.
Yeah.
What kind of impact do you hope to leave through your live performances? Like, what do you hope your audience like walks away with and says, wow, I just felt, you know, this, or they just did that for me?
Oh, if I make someone cry, it's a good night.
Yeah.
We love to see people cry.
I love it. That's our favorite thing. If you come up to us after a show and you say, you guys made me cry so hard.
Like, that's so awesome.
That's like perfect.
I think like we definitely like one of our biggest motivators in music is like being able to provide a space for people that otherwise haven't found that space, whether it's like because they are trans or because they like are queer or like whatever, any marginalized person. Like we really want to be able to like provide that in a scene where sometimes it can be really dominated by like cis white men. And yeah, I think like if some like little kid sees us and they're like, wow, I can be a musician because like these people are musicians, and like if they can do it, I can do it. Like that is pretty powerful. That's sort of what I want.
Yeah.
on a more serious note, I also do like making people cry.
Yeah. Well, on that note too, about talking about inclusivity and being open about, you know, those types of themes, I was curious to ask you, and feel free to share as much as you'd like, obviously challenged by choice, but what are your personal connections to the queer community, and why, and you kind of touched upon this, but why is it important that you bring that sense of advocacy into your music and into your sets?
We're both bi, and I'm non-binary, and so we're very queer. I don't know, I just like the last show we played, the audience was like really, really queer.
Yeah.
And it was just so nice. Like it just felt so safe and like
everybody
positive.
Yeah, like everybody was talking to each other, and like we talked to like so many cool people, and everybody felt really comfortable like talking to strangers. And like sometimes I think you go to a show and it can be really intimidating, and like there's a lot of people that look really scary or like unapproachable, and that sucks.
Yeah.
But it's like nice to be able to be so like transparent about our like own identities, so that people that are like less comfortable with that, they have like a chance to like interact with other people that like maybe share those identities, or like that they know they can safely talk to. Yeah.
It's just really important to have, like we said, spaces for self-expression and comfort.
Yeah.
Do you think that folk music is a good medium for that? Like, would you say folk music is one of those genres that is just better portrayed in live format?
Yeah.
Folk is definitely like, I feel like at least our music, like, I feel like we sound best live.
Yeah.
I don't know, like you can fit a lot of information into a folk song.
Yeah.
Which allows for a lot of like time for connection.
Mm-hmm. That makes sense.
Yeah.
I think that sounded good. Let's go with that. Yeah. You're like checking for confirmation. And have you gotten any like memorable feedback from people that you've performed in front of, like fans coming up to you and saying, you know, that really helped me feel included or helped me feel more in tune with myself, or anything, like mentioning how we like people crying, like, you know, anything really come to mind in terms of the kind of feedback you've gotten from people?
We've gotten a lot of really good feedback from Tiny Boxes.
Yeah.
That song it's really important to us, and I think it's important to a lot of other people that hear it too.
Yeah.
We've had everybody from like little kids to
old
ladies come up to us and be like, that Tiny Boxes song, it's killer.
Yeah, and that means a lot because that song's super important to us.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, can you share a little bit more about that song?
Yeah, it's actually like kind of a great story behind it.
Yeah, we like wrote it. I like was working as a toll attendant.
Oh, no way.
Like at the toll booths, like the summer after we met, so like in 2018, and I was just like working, and a car came through, and there was like 3 little girls like sitting in the back seat. They were probably like 7 or 8 years old. Mm-hmm. And they like were having a blast in the back seat. Like they were literally like having the best day ever, like laughing and like whatever. And they looked so cute. And like I saw them for like maybe 5 seconds, whatever. And then they drove away. And I was like, wow, that was so compelling to me. I don't know why. And I just started like thinking about these lyrics in my head, like thinking back to when I was young. Mm-hmm. And the world, it was huge. And like, just like, I was like really just like riffing off of that idea of like being like a child and like not having any like preconceptions of the world, and just like being so excited and happy and like myself and like all these things before like you learn the way that you're supposed to act in like in our society. And so I was like sending it to Mairead, and Mairead was also at work.
I was working for a gourmet popsicle company.
Yeah. Oh, wow. Completely different.
At a little cart outside by the river.
Yeah. And so then Mairead started sending me lyrics back, and we basically just like wrote the song while we were both at work. And then like when I got home that day, I like went and like actually like put like chords to it and stuff. Mm-hmm. And then it was born.
And I was born, and then we were rehearsing it, and I was like, yo, what if we scream? And by the time we recorded it, we weren't even yelling that loud. Yeah, but now we just we like really full scream. I have thrown up 3 times after singing Tiny Boxes because I screamed too hard.
Yeah.
Oh my.
Not on stage. I've always made it to a bathroom.
All right. That's good to know.
I'm not rude.
It would be pretty badass.
It would be, I mean, it'd be pretty
Oh my god. It'd be like the scene in Pitch Perfect where what's her face throws up on the microphone. Have you seen that?
Yeah.
I've never seen Pitch Perfect. I feel like that's like a cardinal sin.
Really? Oh my god.
It's a good one. I highly recommend.
That was so good.
It came at a time too, like I don't know what year you guys graduated, but I graduated from undergrad in 2019. So that movie came out like right before I think I was about to go to college. So it was like
Wow.
pivotal. I was like,
Yeah.
if this is what college is like, I'm excited.
Yeah, that
Like,
movie's
not quite.
From what I've heard about the movie, I think that's kind of what going to college at Berklee was like.
A little bit, yeah.
Right.
It's a cappella though for us.
Thank God.
Thankfully. Jesus.
Oh boy. I'm curious to know too, because it hit me as soon as I saw you two when we got on this call. What inspired the shaving your head?
Maddie went first.
I did go first. Like I went crazy over quarantine, like really early quarantine, like April 2020 or something. I was just like
literally like a month in.
I was like, nobody's gonna see me. I'm like, nobody knows who I am anymore. Like I don't have to see anybody. I never leave my house. I'm just gonna shave my head. And I like shaved it like to the scalp.
Mm-hmm.
Like
to the nub.
Like to the nub. Like so, and it was so empowering, and I loved it so much that I like grew it out to a mullet, and then I had a mohawk, and then I shaved it again. Like when was that?
When you
June?
like a month
it was
ago.
June, yeah. So I've had short hair for like over a year now, and I think it's great.
Yeah, and
I'll probably just keep doing it.
I had a mullet in quarantine. I did that.
That's sick.
And then my hair was a little damaged because I dyed it like 20 times. It just kept putting stuff on it. And I don't know. I was like, if I don't do it now, it's not like my hair is gonna get any shorter. Like it's not gonna get easier to shave my head. Yeah, I might as well just do it. And so I did it, and I agree with Maddie. It feels super empowering. Yeah, it's also so nice because I just wake up. Yeah, and my head is fine.
Like I never have to worry about a bad hair day because my hair always looks the same. It's sick. I used to like half the time, like I had like a bob for like a really long time, and like half the time I was like, this looks like shit. Like this is such a bad hair day right now. There's nothing you can do about it. It's just like how your hair is. But now every day I look exactly the same, and it's
it's pretty great.
I love that. I've heard it's very freeing when you shave your head.
And then like we had a show during Pride Month or something, and Mairead had just shaved their head. And I was like, oh, maybe I should shave my head. And you were like, I'll do it right now.
So and 15 minutes before the show started.
No way.
It was like a Zoom show, and we like got on, and we both just had like bald heads. It was funny.
So funny.
We like live streamed it.
And we were wearing matching overalls, and then we went out that night, and it was us and our shaved heads and our matching overalls, and we got a lot of weird looks.
Yeah, it was funny.
I love that. I would have loved to have seen that. Wow, kudos to the confidence of you two. Yeah. Amazing.
Thank you.
Well, thank you to you again for coming on and doing this. I really appreciate it. Why don't you tell people what can we expect from Sweet Petunia in the future? Like, what do y'all have brewing for us? We mentioned the EP, but are there more shows? Are there more like social media posts? Like what do you guys kind of have envisioned for yourselves?
Yeah. So we've got a couple of shows coming up. We're playing a show in Concord, New Hampshire, towards the end of August. And we're also playing, did we have I don't remember. I feel like there's something else. But we are also playing in Boston in September, opening for a band called Gentle Temper. And that's going to be at Aeronaut Alston, which is a really sick brewery. And that show is going to be really fun. So everybody should come to that. We've got some other very exciting things brewing that we can't announce yet, but keep an eye out. Insta at Sweet Petunia We're making big moves, and also I think we probably can expect to have that EP out by October. We're gonna say October, and hopefully that's true. But definitely in the fall, definitely like late fall.
Maybe in time for spooky season is what we're hoping.
Yeah, it's gonna be in time for spooky season, hopefully.
You two strike me as spooky season people.
Yeah, we're big fans of Halloween.
We're pretty spooky.
We watch a lot of horror movies.
Yeah.
And, I like to decorate for Halloween.
Yeah.
I like to get fake cobwebs to mask the real cobwebs.
Amen. Been there. Well, thank you guys again. Why don't you let people know where they can find you on social media and your website and things like that?
Totally.
And listen to your music, obviously.
Yeah. Our Instagram is Sweet Petunia Band. That's also our Bandcamp and our Facebook.
And our TikTok.
Oh, and our TikTok. Yeah, we have TikTok.
Our Twitter is Sweet Petunia. Sweet has 3 E's.
And you can listen to our music on any platform.
On any platform,
but Bandcamp is preferred
because you can
buy it.
We also
I
have
see.
some merch for sale on Bandcamp. We've got tote bags,
t-shirts,
lighters, patches, pins,
stickers,
a bag.
Yeah,
that I crocheted
a bag,
a Buy Pride bag.
Ooh.
Yeah. So Bandcamp's really the place to be because you can find all our stuff.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Great. Thank you guys again so much. I'm going to try to pronounce your name again. I'm sorry if I say it wrong.
I believe it's
Mairead, right?
Mairead.
Mairead. God damn it.
It's
I really tried.
It's like parade.
Oh my God. I was like, yeah, if we led with that, I would have said, all right, Mairead and Maddie of Sweet Petunia.
Yeah, thank you so much for having us. It's great.
Thank you. Yeah.
Of course.